Hello. No, I haven't done a video in a long time. And that's not because, fortunately, not because um, things have been bad. It's because things have been going pretty well, so I didn't have much to talk about, to vent about, which is usually what I do. And like I usually do, just a very quick um, how things have been going for me. I've been doing really well. Um, I have had a normal mood for, let me show you. Gotta find it. Here we go. For almost all of March. Sorry. There's a straight line of X's there. I don't know if you can see it. Almost all of March. And up to today. So, no real highs, real. I think I might have had some hypomania in there, but not enough to warrant. I don't know. Anyway, no lows, no irritability, all that jazz. I still haven't painted, as you can see. My good things that happened today jar. In the first quarter, I put a pebble in for each good thing that happened that day, and for 3 months, and it's 4 quarters. And so at the end of March, it was completely filled up. And so I look at it and I'm able to say, that's a lot of good things to happen. I can't say nothing good ever happens. It's right there. Proof. I'm starting April. That's why it's low. And my dog training side hustle is now becoming a true job, part-time job. I don't look towards the end of the month. I have at least 2 clients each day, 5 days a week. I take Sunday and a weekday off. So things are going well. I have good reviews on my Facebook and pictures. It's one smart dog, the word one, not the letter. One smart dog at Seamus, which is SEAMUS 214. If you want to see and not cause any mischief on there. Because I worked really hard for those reviews and stuff, comments. I have thought of a few topics, and one is kind of one that I'm feeling snarky about, and I don't feel like going there today. I'm going to talk about mixed episodes, irritability, again, but specifically in relation to electronics. I don't know what it is, but when I am in the midst of a mixed episode, electronics are both my worst enemy and my saddest victims. usually, I mean, we all have frustrations with our electronics. And as time has come on, I remember back the first time it happened, it was a Walkman cassette player. So I'm talking 80s. As time goes on, 90s, I started getting into like dial up internet and stuff. And there are always frustrations, even now. Nothing is smooth, as nice as smooth as they show you in the ads. Like you can Bluetooth everything everywhere. It's always difficult, especially at first when you get a new device. Um, I know a lot of people are excited to get a new device, and I dread getting a new device. I want the exact same thing. If I have to get a new phone, I'm like, can I have the exact same one I had before, model and make, but it's not like that anymore, and I have to figure it all out. Um, your printer goes haywire for some reason. All of a sudden, it won't scan, and your laptop's frozen. I mean, your mouse is not working right. In a normal mood, I have different responses to these things. In a normal mood, I try to figure out with my own knowledge or trial and error how to fix the problem. If that doesn't work, ask my mom if she has any ideas. Look it up, maybe find something there, adapt. If I'm depressed, I get up and give up and go curl in a ball on my bed and want nothing to do with anything that is electronic. If I'm manic, I can't sit still long enough anyway. Well, for me, I rarely have I have hypomania, but I don't get the good mania anymore. Um, for the past few years, I've steadily grown into this. I go from hypomanic to mixed episode, which is extremely unpleasant. Um, and for anyone who has not had a mixed episode and had the severe irritability, anger outbursts, have absolutely no control over yourself, and it happens so fast. It's speed of lightning kind of response, and it's happened before you can stop it. And you're aware enough to be embarrassed about 10 minutes later. Um, so when something frustrating is okay, I'll go dial it back to the 80s. The first time I remember this happening is I was a teenager. I would say about 15 to 16. And my brother let me use his cassette Walkman, which would have been worth a lot of money right now. And I'm walking along and I'm meeting my friend halfway, because we don't drive yet. And then we were going to walk together somewhere. When you're a teenager, just walking around is an activity. So we meet up and we're walking, and she says something. I can't remember what it was. She just said something that really pissed me off. And and I'm in the middle of the act, and I'm realizing how outrageous my response is to what's happened, but I can't stop. It had a strap that you could hang it over your shoulder. So I have this thing by the strap, and I'm like swinging it and smashing it to the ground and just slammed it. And, my friend's looking at me like I'm insane. And, which I guess technically I kind of was. And, uh, and then I started bawling because I ruined my little brother's Walkman, and I was gonna have to figure out how to get him a new one. Um, and how I just felt bad that I had ruined. I didn't feel bad because I felt upset that I was gonna have to tell him. I felt bad that I did that. Well, um, a little while preceding my first hospitalization, we had moved away from where I had been an outcast and bullied for a long, long time at school. And my parents didn't like the school, the quality of the school there that I was going to. Um, they were losing their accreditation and stuff. So they moved us further out from the city area. Um, I just didn't like the way the neighborhood was. Sorry. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So, anyway, so they move us out to BFE, and there was a club, a teen club that we would go to every weekend, and now it was like really far away, and and all the friends I had made were far away. In fact, it was long distance back then. They tried to screw people by making it long distance, even though you weren't that far away. Um, when you're a teenager and you don't drive and you don't have a car, anywhere is far away. You're wherever you can't be, it's far away. So that's what happened. And I was getting very, very frustrated. Talking to friends, getting crabbed on by my parents because of the phone bill, hearing my friends saying, oh, we did this, we did that. And, so they're doing stuff without me. They're living their lives. They're moving on without me. And I did make some friends at my new school, but it seemed that I was having trouble controlling my emotions. And I know it's like, oh, yeah, well, you were a teenager. Well, by the time I ended up attempting suicide and being in the hospital, I had at one point kicked a hole in the wall and hit it with a TV, a little black and white TV, positioned it just so, which did not work because of, me kicking that. One time I was just full of so much. I don't even know what the word is for it. It's not rage, it's not anger. It's just full of something that had to get out. And I took my record player and put my foot on the bass and took the platter and pulled it up as far as I could go. And darn it, I wanted to pull the thing off and it wouldn't come off. And so when they checked my room when I went to the hospital, they found all these broken electronics. And so that was the beginning of my horrible relationship with electronics. And the thing is sometimes it's the mood that causes me to become destructive towards them. Um, and sometimes it's the technology that sends me into fury. Whereas in a normal, and there probably is a way to fix it, but I'm not in the mindset to read the information and 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 do anything with it. My brain is not functional. I can't take any information in and use it in any way. And that's, I think, where a lot of the frustration in angry outbursts come from is you get information, but you can't figure out how to use it. And if you go wait until your mood's changed and you revisit the problem, that you realize you can fix it because you can now read the instructions on how to troubleshoot, or it turned out to be a cord problem the whole time, you know. So I cell phones have it didn't start with cell phones. It started with the phone on the wall that had a cord and everything, because my friends were telling me we went here, we did this, I was with so and so, you know. When I moved away, I had a someone who was more than a friend at the time, and she was moving on too. And so I was getting really upset about this move, and and the fact that I had no control over my life. So I would like slam that like phone down on the thing that holds it. I don't even know what the parts are called anymore. And like slam it, and I have, you know, comes falling off the wall, and I have to put it back up before parents see. So that's what the phone thing started. And then you give me a cell phone, something without a cord. Yeah, I'm going to be throwing that thing left and right. This phone has been through so much. This case has been awesome. In I've had it for forever. You know, so usually I make some attempt to not be physical with the electronic, and I end up slamming my fists till they hard enough that they bruise onto the table. And because there is still a part of me that remembers how much it cost. I've been getting very frustrated. I get frustrated with this laptop. It's a good laptop. It's a nice laptop. I spent a lot of money on it. Excuse me. But it's not the laptop that's slow. It's our internet, because we live nowhere that we don't have the super fast fiber whatevers. Um, and so everything is kind of slow, and I can't figure out why, video especially. And so I don't know, there might be, I don't know. There's nowhere to take it to have someone fix it, like if it is the computer. Um, Whereas I used to be able to just walk into Best Buy with something, because that's where I used to buy everything, but we just don't live that way anymore. I have laptops, I think, are the most, are, are the electronics that make me the most angry, that I react to the most. And so I'll divert the outbursts from the laptop to something else that isn't as, doesn't cost as much. Like I'll turn and, you know, be mean to the printer because it's really old and I really need a new one. It's like ancient. Um, my mouse. Now, my mouse gets, I think my mouse gets the most abuse. Um, because when I'm mad with the laptop, I usually have this in my hand and I do the like table slamming with the mouse, and it's broken right here, but it still works amazingly. Um, they must like take into account that people are gonna be throwing things. Um, I, it's, I think it's like, um, my, I think it's like people know when to stay out of my way when I'm being mean to my electronics. Um, I have to say that I was much happier before cell phones, um, at least smartphones. Um, I had a, sorry, little flip phone for a long time, pink, cute. Uh, it was all I needed for a long time, and then I became manager at the animal shelter, and I had to get a smartphone. Um, and like I said, like with laptops and any electronics now, you can't get the same thing. So I have to relearn. I have to, they decide to do new stuff and they think it's all neat and keen, and it does nothing but frustrate me. And if I'm not in the right state of mind, then something's going to pay. If there was people around me, then they would be my target. My poor mom, when I lived in their house before this time, it doesn't happen as much now, but if I'm like that, and like if one of our dogs does something to frustrate me, I don't want to let it out on the dogs. So I yell at her, which doesn't happen at all very much. And it used to happen every day, sometimes all day. I'd just be following her. That was before I was on uh, appropriate medication for me. Um, it was horrible to live with, and um, and I still have had some problems because I try really, really hard now because she was gonna like move and and like I you know that I know that it's bad when I know that I'm doing it, but I can't stop, and you know that I can't stop it, and I feel awful because I know that even if I apologize, I can't I can't take the hurt away. So I'll just stick to beating up on the mouse. No, I don't. It's it's that weird thing where you hurt the people you love kind of thing. Um no, really what it is um when I was in nursing school, they taught us that if a patient acts short or angry with you, remember that they are doing the best that they can at that time, and they have a lot going on. They're upset, and you just happen to be the person that is there to, you know, take the abuse. So don't take it personally. But um, anyway, going off topic about electronics and stuff, it's just amazing how I'll be trying to do something like figure out a new thing, and in just like milliseconds go from um, being nervous about it not working out, and then the slightest I just I don't I don't I get frustrated when websites change their platform, whatever. Um, when you get on a site and suddenly something is new and you're trying to figure out how to get it off the screen, and um, I'm wondering if there weren't for all of this TV next to me, that in this ancient computer I have set up just because I like the 80s, and the the 8-track player and the all of that, and this laptop and these headphones and this phone, and if all I had was a book, would I like get angry at the book because I couldn't turn the page? Well, I can answer that question. um, and it has nothing to do with bipolar disorder. When I am working with a client in dog training and I'm trying to turn a page in my book or hand them a a printout of something, and my tremor, see, essential tremor gets worse if you're anxious, and I have social anxiety. So my hand is worse, shakes worse when somebody is watching me try to get this paper, and I'm like shaking and trying to get this paper, and I'm more conscious, I'm sure, than they are, but there have been times where I really was kind of struggling, um, and that had nothing to do with mixed episode, and I might get angry. I have never had it happen. I with mixed. I've never been angry at a. I've never had my outbursts come out into anger, into a book or a shoe. Um, I've had it come out in my car. Um, a watch. Maybe there's some sort of scientific answer. Maybe there's something being emitted from these electronics that trigger me when I'm in a mixed episode. Um, and I, maybe that's it. Maybe I need to make sure I just stay away. Okay, so um, that's all I had to talk about today. Um, just something I have noticed, and I'm wondering if it's unique to me. The other thing I just wanted to mention just now, my watch vibrated, and it's 11 o'clock, and it's time for me to go to bed, get ready for bed. My service dog has, on his own, figured out that the vibration on my watch, it doesn't make a sound. I mean, it buzzes and you can hear a buzz, but it's very faint. I trained him on a really loud, you heard it earlier, but now he's alerting on this vibration, so maybe someday I'll be able to get rid of the really loud alarm. But canines are awesome, and that's all I have. I think next two ideas are someone wanted me to do a video about getting rid of or treating bipolar disorder without medication, which is a topic I have a lot to say about. So I'm going to do that. And a little one about my little jar so you know what the heck I'm talking about. So I'm going to go. Good night.